a lot of players in the right spot here for GE. Ready to defend a push into A, but it seems as though PRX have kind of got a bit of a spider sense tingling, so they're not committing to it. And GE are having to force that fight. Spike will be retrieved. Autumn in for another one, doing some great work right now, but there's a huge push in here from DPI all the way in through C.
Numbers supporting G, though, that's what I'm keeping my eye on. So far, so good. They still have possible flashes, relay bolts coming back in. It all depends on DPI.
Yudotan has surely seen him. He has. Good tag through, but DPI still standing and might still be able to make some magic happen. Paranoia. Not quite going to be held here by Forsaken. Needed to come a little earlier, and Yudotan would punish them. GE, they're not done yet.
Starting off with the pistol. Just yesterday, they weren't doing too hot on these sorts of rounds. They had some trouble against Full Sense, but perhaps, this is a way to keep themselves back into the game. Yudotan, let's get that from his POV, because that is exactly what you want to have.
Yeah, really need Yudotan to come online on this defense. Yeah. Disappointment, obviously, from the PRX coaching booth, which is probably to be expected out of a round like that one. You had numbers disadvantage. A lot of players tagged up. It was always going to be a tough hold, but it is going to make closing this game out quite a bit harder for PRX now. Ooh, that is nice. Perfectly timed shots from Patman. He's also been a little bit missing in that first half. I think it's fair to say he had been the standout player for GE coming into this playoffs, and if he's unable to activate on a day like today, then it's going to be really rough for GE. That will be a big lack of firepower for them, but maybe he can come online here on this defensive side.
ACS leader for the team, after all.
Insane clutching as well. Yudotan starting to build up toward that overdrive now as well, and drones can spot a number of players starting to try and make their way in towards B. The wall obviously isolating something, and now GE are on the hunt. Forsaken looks to punish for 2. So that'll be a little costly for GE in the end, but hey, a round's a round, and I think at this point you just have to take it one round at a time as GE.
One round at a time, one map at a time. We'll see how it goes. This might have been GE's pick, but as long as they make it close, I think we can still keep our heads high for the next several ones. You're already kind of seeing how GE intends to control the map. Controller, it's default things. Pat on towards C, the rest of them just trying to control bits of A as well.
I mean, the pressure is building on that stage, as you can see. Everyone is so invested at the moment. To be a little bit of a faster hit towards the A side of the map for PRX, trying to take some space. And he's tucked in the corner.
They don't know that he's in there.
Wonder if he lets them past if they do decide to walk past, or to just take that first kill.
There's also a bit of timing as well. DPI just toying with the C site for now.
Oh, they're checking.
I'm out of here.
Nope. We're good.
Oh, the chase is on. Oh, no way! Yudotan doesn't quite get 2. Oh, it looked like the perfect opportunity, but Forsaken survives on a sliver of HP. Now it's Invi's turn, and the headshot will deal with Autumn. Forsaken flanked by Patman. He is looking for more, but he knows now that his position is noted, that everyone's going to be looking in his direction, so he'll slow things back down.
Buy as much time as possible. 50 seconds and keep PRX here long enough. Maybe, just maybe.
It's time to perfection, I think. Invi's got no idea. And something hasn't spotted him out either in spawn.
I think there's a slight inkling. Something cleared it out. He's expecting it, and there he goes. Back to numbers advantage for PRX, and now they have their pick of the sites. GE have to try to go in for a 2v3 retake, with the only thing to work off of being Crystal and Javi's signature abilities, the recon and the flash. It's not going to be easy, Jordan.
No, certainly not, but they are making good time as they start to rotate their way across, but they'll first have to take this fight against DPI, and he is holding strong for 1.
He's just too good.
Javi now isolated in the 1v3, is not going to have a chance. A big round out from Invi as well. So what can you do when all of PRX is firing?
I guess not much. We have another timeout.
I think they do.
I don't know if they're going to be calling it soon. I mean, it started out kind of okay. You have this judge. He's swung on a great timing. And they almost managed to, capitalize off of it with Forsaken being incredibly low. Pat coming out towards the back lines, but after that fact, after something clears out, it's just PaperX again operating and imposing their will against their opponents. Trying to take things a little bit slower this time, and that's going to bait out GE's utility. They don't like what they're seeing. They're hearing bits of prowlers out towards Garage, and suddenly the rotations go off.
Dark cover into Garage is not going to be too much of a concern.
มันหมุนอะ
Concern for PaperX, they were already out in concern for PaperX, they were already out in front of it. But I like the push here from GE, who take a lot of space outside to C. The issue obviously being that A is completely left open at this point, so it's going to be another retake that's going to be required for GE.
That's the problem. GE has no idea what's going on outside of Garage, and by the point that Crystal comes back in to clear it, it's a little bit too late. PaperX, they're holding up. Device got the angle into its sewer, and that's going to be a problem.
Well, just going to have to win some aim duels here if you're GE. There's no two ways about it. Retake's going to be a tough one. So much space being held by PaperX right now. And Envy is looking crisp. He very nearly deals with Autumn as well. Maybe the shield just saving him, but setting up the rest of PaperX to close this round out. King will drop. Batman starting to come online in this round. He's just TP'd straight into Forsaken, and Autumn's dealt with as well. Oh, dear.
Why are we doing that? Oh, my goodness. Big kills traded back and forth, but it comes down to a wild TP play. Feeling a bit too antsy, perhaps, to just get back in onto the side, thinking that PaperX had pushed all the way outside of main lane. But no! They were still onto the side. Forsaken was on top of a box. And at that point, that might have been the map
เฮ้ยหมุนอีกแล้ว
lost. Big ultimates brought up now, but I don't know if it's possible. 11-5 is a big gap.
Yeah, huge recovery required now. And we're going to get another timeout for GE. You sort of asked the question of whether or not they have another one, and this is it. This is the all-important words coming through from the coaching booth of GE to try to save their map pick here. Yes, you can say it's a BO5, but starting off the BO5, losing your map pick to a informed-looking PaperX. This could be a really tough day at the office for GE. It feels like you've got lots of time in a BO5,
right
but
now GE, they had this composition. We saw bits of it with how they want to operate around. That was another discussion that they had in the post-game press conference yesterday about how they don't seem to do well. They kind of struggle a little bit when their opponents are operating at their own pace, when they're not playing towards GE style, when GE is not able to slow them down. Clearly right now, with all the duels that PaperX are enforcing against this squad, it's not working out too well. Yudotan though trying to push his own assault in with a nightfall and the contract.
Oh, I love it from Yudotan. Gets the double straight out with that overdrive. That's exactly what GE needs in a round like this one. Davai will bait out the shield wall.
That's a really quick call from PaperX then. Just to quickly cancel off the initial push. Try to look for the pivot back into C.
Maybe something still on for this one. Batman usually pretty solid. He's going to have to get at least one here. Shots give away his position. The double swing should come through. Oh, no.
จะทำจริงไม่ทัน
And really needing one. And doesn't get either. Just a little bit of damage. Davai almost caught on the timing here by Autumn, who's just going to try and push forward and take a little bit of space. Actually takes Davai's head in that meanwhile. So GE, I wanted to say in with a chance for retake, but it's just not happen. Oh no, again. Just when you think GE are starting to come back into their own, there's always one more PaperX player somewhere to crush the hopes and dreams.
ทำจริงนี่แม่ง
And isn't that just how this map feels? The number of, do I even want to call them hero plays? At this point, it's just individual prowess coming out from several players from this PaperX core. As soon as they start to see that push outside of A, immediately they try to peel back over onto C side, which they managed to do so, almost getting caught out, but then this happens.
Something kind of knows that he's getting in the heads of GE. 12-5, it has not been a particularly inspiring performance from GE on the stage today, but of course there is the opportunity still to come back in. Lotus Ascent yet to come. Got to just try to find a way to slow a bit of this momentum down for PaperX. Maybe they can take another 1 or 2 or 3 rounds out of this map and build a bit of confidence back up. That's a better start again from Yudotan and Autumn this time as well. having some early impact. He wants to push for more, and he gets himself the double. So that's what I'm talking about. Just try to slow things down for PRX. Get a few rounds here. Yeah, you probably have already lost this map, but at least stop PRX from going into map 2 with oodles of momentum.
I do like baseball in Vietnam, but apart from that, just getting that read, I think. We've been thinking about Javi and his calling, and I think this is one of those rounds where he's managed to do just that. Figure out where PRX is trying to push in from. Then you get the plays going out with Yudotan and Autumn getting activated on that C site. The last one going down without a question. You need so much more of that to win out, not just this map, but this entire series. We had a brief conversation about it, Jordan, where, you know, let's say we sack Haven, let's go over onto Lotus. Lotus was where PRX just had their time of day the last time these two teams faced off. I think the desk was kind of talking or alluding to it a bit as well, that if GE wants to have potential to really make it to that grand final, get that revenge match against Full Sense, they need to drag this all the way out to Ascent.
Another aggressive play here for GE. So Yudotan on the aggression on this defense has been where they've been finding a lot of their success, and I wonder if PRX can start to adapt to that. They were waiting for it, and they knew eventually GE would come again. And unfortunately for GE, that is the last roll of the dice for map 1. 13-6, they have just been picked apart, and PRX are doing what they do best. It's another lower bracket run in the making.
Already cooking up a storm. It's just the first map, and they didn't even let GE get towards at least halfway. 6 is just thereabouts. But when they're operating at this form, I mean, how can you possibly answer back? The timeout's called, but no answer. It's just plays from Defy, from Jing, from Forsaken, from something.
Yeah, I think that's got to be the really big concerning point here for GE, is that PRX are undoubtedly hitting their level, but I would certainly question whether or not GE feels like they are hitting their own level. There was a couple of moments there, maybe the Crystal 1v1 against Defy, where you thought, oh, this is a winnable round, doesn't hit his shot, and that's not, you know, to bag on Crystal at all. It's just a symptom, I think, of a greater problem at the moment, where GE just feel like they're not at 100% today. And if you want to beat PRX on a stage like this one, you probably need to be at 110%. So GE, I know they've got better in them. So they need to find a way to get to that level that we saw from them earlier on in the playoffs. Otherwise, it's going to be a quick day for PRX. But luckily, they've got 2 maps in the back pocket to do that still.
Definitely. Just get those reps in. You want to look pretty good going out towards Masters London as well. So let's see a lot more of that. But for now, we'll toss it down over onto an interview or the desk.
Vâng ạ, rất kính chào các bạn thân mến. Bên cạnh tôi là thuyền trưởng của PRX, huấn luyện viên Alex. Và hãy cùng nghe xem những chia sẻ của huấn luyện viên Alex về cái màn trình diễn thật sự là hủy diệt ở trong map thi đấu vừa rồi là như thế nào. So coach, that was really crushing. That's the word. Everybody was on point. So walk us through the confidence of the team.
I think we just tried to learn from past mistakes. I think we made sure that we come into this game, like you said, confident. You know, I think we had a good talk last night, made sure that everyone got good sleep, and I think that helps a lot.
Chúng tôi đã học hỏi những cái sai lầm từ trong quá khứ. Chúng tôi đã có những cuộc nói chuyện rất là hiệu quả trong buổi tối ngày hôm qua. Và chúng tôi đã thể hiện điều đó ở trên sân khấu trong cái buổi chiều ngày hôm nay. Thank you coach. See you in map 2.
Thank you.
Get good sleep and arrive with confidence. That seems to be the formula for success here for PRX, and it seems to be working here.
Yeah.
PRX just doing PRX things once more.
I mean, it makes it sound so simple. I'm not this good after just one night of good sleep.
I get a lot of good sleep. I am never done this.
I wish coaching was this easy for me the whole time. I mean, this team are just unbelievable. They go from strength to strength. They've not missed a beat here on the stage, but on the flip side for G, once again, it's a slow start. We need to see them warm up on this stage and really bring their best self. Otherwise, the series might get out of hand.
This is the double-edged sword of GE, really, is they have all these ideas, they have adjustments game to game. Sometimes they hit, sometimes they don't, unfortunately. And it is difficult when you're picking Haven into PRX. They get to play this defensive-sided comp. They've got the big, they've got the chamber, but those aren't even the agents that you necessarily needed to be worried about. It was more so Forsaken. Great game from him. He's just kind of been okay on controller for the most part, but this is by finally like another one of those big games on the Omen where you can tell he's really feeling himself, and something, of course, continues to deliver in fine form as well.
Well, this is Forsaken in his, in his element. This is Forsaken in front of a crowd, and he is in the lower bracket. This is him at his most dangerous. So I think here, PRX, they have to be feeling good about this one, and they have to be feeling good about this series. By the way, we do have a special guest here on the desk. We have Jovi from RRQ joining us. Of course, this is kind of personal for you because on the side of Global Esports, we have Frost, and you worked with him for quite a long while last year. It's a very, very memorable partnership. So what did you think of that map?
It was a little rough, I'm not gonna lie. I think
A little?
a little rough, but
rough, yeah.
it's map 1. It is a BO5, so
Right.
they do have a little bit more time. But it is PRX, so every round does count. So I mean, they need to start winning a few more.
Yeah.
They really want to keep going.
Definitely, definitely. I think that, here on side of Global Esports, they need to be able to shake this off.
Yeah.
Like, it never happened and you're going into another map 1, right? Starting from 0. And that confidence that needs to come out from Global Esports, that's exactly what they need to find coming into the second map.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I need to see them wake up, man. I need to see them settle in. Because when this team is at their ceiling, they're an incredible team. They've not qualified for no reason. They're good enough. They've just got to find a way to bring it out on the stage. So, Jovi, if you're backstage right now, if you're working with Frost again, you're in those back rooms, what are you saying to the boys here?
It's a warm-up scrim at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Right? You just take this one as a warm-up scrim, you take it in the chin, you wake up, and you already see how hard they're hitting. Now you got to start hitting back is the main thing. So just start going little by little.
What did you think of the comp adjustment coming into this game? Because I've kind of said this all season about GE. They love to change up the comps. They love to catch their opponents off guard. Can be a double-edged sword in Valorant. Like, is it hard to bed these comps in game to game with the players, especially if you only have a tight turnaround? I mean, it's been a while since they played Haven, but if things don't go well, or maybe PRX is causing a couple more problems, is it hard to kind of get things rolling with the comp, or how have you found it?
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, if you're not really practicing it enough, you're not going to see many scenarios and things like that. And also the skill of PRX, they're going to come out swinging, right?
Yeah.
But I totally see the vision of coming behind with the ISO, with the Vice to try to slow them down.
Right.
Especially the ISO wall, right, to stop the chamber and the jet ops.
Right.
So I can see the vision.
Yeah.
But it wasn't executed as well as they probably
So
hoped.
you think they picked it into them knowing they'd start attack side first, and they're trying to break a lot of the chamber stuff and things like that, right?
100%.
Yeah, however, it's PRX, right? And you saw it, before any util could
เขา
come
ก็
in,
เม
you're
ตา
just
แม่ง
shooting
เขาทาง
heads.
เฟเบรกก็คือเจ็ต
Do
ก็
you
เล่น
think
ได้
we're in for
เซมเบอร์
more
โกง
surprises here in this best of 5?
Oh,
100%.
100%. Knowing Frost, he definitely
100%?
had
Okay.
he had comps prepped for this. He's waiting for this moment, even though they played I think four times now.
Yeah,
I think
this is the
5
fifth.
Yeah, this is the 5th.
5 times. Okay, definitely has things prepped. I wouldn't be surprised if we're gonna see something out of the blue.
Yeah, okay. That looks really, really promising. That's a little bit of a teaser. But of course, when we talk about all of these players, right, we look at the ones that really did pop off. Autumn was hitting a lot of amazing shots, and Envy definitely putting up the numbers as well.
Yeah, I mean, just everyone across the board on this PRX team is impossibly sharp. You never know who's going to be the guy to take over the server, because all 5 of them have been able to do it. On the flip side for GE, Autumn once again having a good performance, because we know he's used to these big stages from that CN region, but we're not seeing the rest of the team really get themselves comfortable. I do think they're still in that adjustment period. Don't get me wrong, now is the right time for it. You're getting it out before London, but I'd love to see a map where some of these lesser experienced players start to pop.
How is it playing against this comp when you have to run into Phoenix Chamber on Haven? How do you deal with that? Is it annoying to play against? Because I can only imagine you never really know what the setup is, where the chamber is. They're very flexible with what they want to do.
Yeah, no, definitely. Especially when they're on defense, you really got to see what they do on A to really have a total understanding. Are they setting up the chamber on the short? Are they trying to fight the A? If they're not doing that, maybe the chamber can be towards C, so you caution it a little bit. So the start of round, the comms have to be on point of what they're doing to really have an idea. And then on attack, you just can't let this chamber walk and get free kills. That's the main thing. And not let the Phoenix farm orbs. That's the double-edged thing about it.
I mean, I think when it comes down to these players, they definitely sure there's a little bit of that competition there, but there was a lot of I saw Patman getting really, really egoistic about some of the plays that he had. He was like, I really want to take this guy down.
That guy just sends it, but it's impossible when the Omen on the other side is putting together rounds like this. We haven't seen the best Forsaken this stage. We know how brilliant he can be, but he settled into this sort of role player smokes role. But this was the kind of vintage game from him. This is the guy who we know can be an international MVP, and he's just proving that form.
Well, that's the thing. The Omen can definitely be a playmaker. So if your Omen is feeling it, and we've even seen it from Patman on this map where he's just gone ballistic. So unfortunately this time it was Forsaken's turn, but for Pat, we'll see if he can pick up the performance because he has been the key against PRX for a lot of the other games they've played against each other.
Yeah, Forsaken's he's a late game kind of player, you know? Like, wait for me in the later half of the stages when we get to the big stage. That's when I'm really gonna pop off. And I think for GE, you have Patman as that player, but it seems to be a little unstable. So I'm wondering how they're gonna balance that kind of confidence and all those emotions as they come into map number 2. Lotus, another 3-side map. What are your thoughts?
Oh man, they got to keep their composure. If GE can keep their composure a little bit and just play a little bit more together, I think it's gonna be a little bit easier on their end. You just can't be giving PRX those one-on-one fights, those like, that's what they want. That's where they thrive. Don't give them a chance. Don't play into their chaos. Don't play into their tempo.
Yeah.
Try to compose yourself and play how you want to play.
Yeah, I think that like Patman mentioned that the key to winning against PRX that one time was that he had to meet the aggression where it was. He had to say, nope, you're not dominating this side. I am here. I am going to stop you right here. So I think that they have to find that in them to be able to solve this problem that is PRX, right? But of course, it's a big match here. So I want to see what the coaches have to say. I believe we have Frost standing by here.
Oh.
So let's send it down to the stage.
Excited for this one.
You're excited.
장점이라고 하면은 저는 이 마우스를 사용했어요. 양손잡이고 또 어느 그립의 사용자든 편하게 사용할 수 있을 정도의 호불호 없는 마우스 그립이라고 말씀드리고 싶고, 그리고 또 펄사가 굉장히 마우스를 잘 만드는 회사인 만큼 센서도 굉장히 좋고 그런 민감도나 정확도 그런 거에서 굉장히 뛰어난 성능을 보여준다고 말씀드리고 싶습니다.
Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.
Nơi khoảnh khắc truyền cảm hứng, nâng tầm từng trải nghiệm. Thành công được tôn vinh tỏa sáng, ghi dấu sự kiện hoàn mỹ. Sky Ho nâng tầm trải nghiệm trong từng khoảnh khắc.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Welcome back to VCT Pacific live from Ho Chi Minh. We just saw PRX take map number 1 with relative ease, but this is a best of 5. We still have a long way to go. Mika Fabs here on the desk with Pilski Big Time and Jovi as our special guest today. He has a very beloved relationship with Frost, of course. So what's it like seeing, a team that your former co-coach is coaching, and like, are you stressed for the side of global esports?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I want to see him succeed. I want to see this team succeed. They've been working really hard, so I just want to see them win.
Well, let's see how he's feeling. Let's send it down to the stage for an interview with Frost.
Vâng ạ, xin kính chào các bạn thân mến. Bên cạnh tôi là huấn luyện viên Frost, thuyền trưởng của câu lạc bộ eSports, và chúng ta hãy cùng xem là Frost sẽ cần phải có những thay đổi gì, hay là fan hâm mộ của GE hãy cứ tiếp tục tin tưởng. So coach, looks like they're not gonna slow down. Do we need any changes, or are the fans gonna just trust the process?
No, we definitely have to trust. First half, we lost a lot of close rounds. If we win them, it's probably 6-6 score. Second half, we had a round where we had 2 pushing down C, and for some reason, my 3 on the other side decided to lurk also, so I had 5 people lurking instead of 2. So it's just like, oh man, it's these small mistakes you can't make with the scene because they'll just punish you. It's tough.
Tất cả những gì chúng tôi cần đó chính là tin tưởng mà thôi. Ở ván thi đấu vừa rồi thì có rất là nhiều những cái sai lầm. Chúng tôi đã có thể đưa tỷ số về thành là 6 đều sau khi mà first half kết thúc, và đã có một tình huống mà chúng tôi đã có tới 5 người đi lurk và để ra rất nhiều khoảng trống cho phía của PRX. Vậy nên chúng tôi sẽ cần phải sửa chữa điều đó ở tại map thi đấu thứ 2. Thank you coach. And wish you the best on map 2.
Yes sir.
Well, hopefully those small mistakes don't pile up here on Lotus. This is our second map. What are we expecting here?
Yeah, I mean, I want to see a recovery, but the problem is you're moving into Lotus. A map PRX have been so fantastic on throughout their whole career. It's so tough to beat them here, and it always has been. So I really think the bounce back has to come now, or this series might really start to slip out of GE's hands.
Yeah, PRX have really defined how to play double duelists on Lotus. Their only loss comes to a bad performance for something. He's not going to be having one today, and he's definitely not going to be playing a Neon. They're just trusting that double duelist comp, Jet Rays with the Sky. I don't think PRX need to change up anything. They are very solid on this map. This puts the onus on GE, who have already played 2 different comps on this map, and this is a 3rd different comp. Jovi, what are we seeing here from GE?
My God.
I am so excited that they're bringing out the triple Senti out of GE. They really want to counter PRX. They're bringing out the Deadlock. They're bringing out the Sage to be able to delay as much as possible. I am so excited for this.
Wow. There's no duelist.
This
You
is
the times on the
crazy.
stage.
Yes.
Wait, hold on. There is no duelist.
Yeah, I mean, so I think their defender half, you expect it to be solid, but this attacker half, they got to do what you were saying. They got to slow it right the way down. Right? Do you think this is how you beat PRX?
100%. You have to completely counter. They have the Sage slows to try to drop the set. Yes. If played correctly, this is the way to go.
If played correctly.
If played correctly.
There's that disclaimer there. There's that disclaimer there. Oh my gosh. I cannot wait to see this. It could go so well, or
just good luck, have fun next map.
I don't know. I'm feeling kind of nervous about this, but I do want to see how this plays out. Let's step into Lotus, over to Elfish and to Quack.
Man, I don't know why they do this to me, Quack. What is this? What is going on? You've got triple Sentinel, no duelist. Look, Jovi seems to be pretty impressed. He seems to be pretty locked in on that composition. What's your take? Because to me, this seems like madness.
It does. But I want to say, let them cook. These guys are the chefs. They know what they know. And maybe, Lotus being a bigger map, that's where they can operate, having their own pace, go with it. But you really need the strongest start possible. Going into attack without a duelist, I don't know, G.
You say let them cook. These are the guys that made you baked beans on toast for the entree on map 1 with that composition. And it's reminding me a little bit of what Morgan eats on the buffet breakfast, which is such a letdown, I have to say, from his perspective. But either way, man, look, I'll give him a chance. I'll give him something. I'll see what we're going to get here, because I like a bit of a variety. And I hope this works, because I want to see a good series here between GE and PRX. But so far, I don't have a lot of confidence at the moment for GE. They're going to have to change my opinion throughout this game of Lotus.
We'll see with this composition of theirs. All the Sentinels to boot. For now, they start things off with Gravnet. There should be some information off of it, but PRX hang back with the range that they have. It's just going to be GE to try to build up on towards alt points for now. Only one to maybe hold off the B side would be Javi, but he does have a trip supporting.
Yeah, it's going to have to be this first half that looks good for GE. They are on the defense now, so they're going to have to maximize. Autumn, surely caught out, but he does very well to get himself the 1-for-1. The ball's going to go up. So entry into C site will be denied. For now,
a bit of vision maybe as well, but this being a chaos map, 3 sites after all, is another thing where PRX loves to play around, but already you can kind of see what this comp does. The walls coming in, rot the clock quite a bit, and have some information off of that as well. Oh, Pat has to stay on.
kind of wonder at a certain point, though, does it really matter as PRX send a couple of players over the top of those walls? Maybe they're not going to be too concerned, but we'll see how that plays out.
30 seconds left.
Into this game. Here's the push now on to A. Crystal pushed away, but Patman standing and delivering just for the one. Crystal now needs to put something together and can't do it. A site taken.
Now a lot of space off of it as well. So just continue to hold down the lines. Maybe you push all the way up through into spawn if you don't see anything else. GE, it depends on their approach, how silent you're going to be. You do with the smokes, the door kind of gives off information now. They're trying to work in shoulder to shoulder. Doesn't work though.
Just a contact play, timing looking great here for something, and Envy providing a distraction. Something usually so clean on the pistol, whipping a couple of shots, whipping a lot of shots.
ปืนพัง
But
เปล่า
it's okay, because Envy is there for the triple in the round, and PRX win themselves another pistol.
Which, again, just doesn't really bode too well for GE. I mean, already the idea kind of looks fun and pretty good against PRX. But when PRX are just still walking into sites like that, you know, all the ability kind of, you just think about that another time. You know, this is one of those where they just had all the information.
I'll find those
shots whiffed.
Yeah, not happy with himself, but I think happy with the result. So, job done.
Yeah, good to go. Back over onto trying to slow down the pace of this map as much as possible. Maybe playing the long game with Crystal's ultimates. He's already halfway through towards that annihilation. Another discussion would possibly be Pat, the instrumental player for GE. But right now, he's not always getting activated. The 4 push down pillar while PRX just sets up inside of C.
Well, Patman kind of, sorry, not Patman, I should say, something floating around over towards A. Now Forsaken spotting the info that is going to be required. It's going to bring something across to get that backstab through. It is being watched for, but what are you going to really do at a range like that with just pistols on the other side? GE are stuck between a rock and a hard place. They've got nowhere to go.
Okay.
They just have to try to fight their way into at least some damage, which is not really occurring at this point. It was a good effort, but 2-0 the score here. PRX getting underway on map 2 in a very similar fashion to what they did on map 1.
Yeah, buddy. PRX just continuing to min-max that economy. And again, that's possibly going to allow them to stabilize throughout round after round. Meanwhile for GE, I want to say at least they get some points. They get one gun away, although it wasn't a big gun. It almost doesn't matter. You think about what Pat mentioned yesterday in the post-conference as well, that he kind of struggled to reset mentally map to map. He got kind of way too upset the initial loss, so you would hope that that doesn't matter today. But right now,
I must wait
quick information, try to set up those walls once more.
GE a bit more proactive on this defense. Yudatan going to try to push his way forward, but it's Morton that will strike first onto G.
Quick swing, not really seeing too much else off of it. PRX thinking to end up on towards this A site, but Pat is close by, still has the haunt, and at the same time, Crystal, does have the barrier mesh to really slow things down, allow for the rotations to come over, and that's exactly what G intends to do.
Yeah, you can't play too slowly here. Rex, don't worry about it. A headshot will be the difference maker there as Crystal's just plucked out of the round. A-site taken, you've got a very, very late lurk from Devi.
Spike planted.
Too late, maybe too late. I think that's a lot of ground to cover, but Envy, not just the 1-for-1. Something has got to make sure that he does not fall here, because that could really bring this round back into an awkward position. But that push available, and there is Devi able to strike, so it was better late than never in the end. And it looks like PRX should be getting through this round, but we'll see what Harvey can do. Walks his way in on this A site, but it's not going to work out this time around. It's just a little bit too weird of a round, really, from PRX, isn't it?
It feels that way. It really does. But this is just the most PRX thing. Starting off against the back foot, they might have gone down for the opening picks. But for all of GE's util and plans, it doesn't matter if something just swings, takes down Crystal, and then the rest of them just to play around the spike, the duels, always the 1v1s. Jovi just talked about it. Big Time just talked about it. let's not see that too much. Now they've got to play
ฝั่งนู้นไม่มีด้วยดิ
tighter,
เลยเว้ย
play
คนดู
together. Up to this round, though, you don't imagine it's going to be too much. They're just trying to clash against PaperX around Rubble. Oh, okay.
Shot from you.
มีเซนติเนล3 ตัว
The picture early on in the piece, and with that, PaperX have been rerouted over towards C.
แผนแบบไหนวะเนี่ย
Rallo's going to clear it out as well, so they are aware at this point that PaperX have
มี
exited.
แต่ตัวกันเห็นโดนตีไป3 ตา
Could
นะ
be okay. Maybe some kill trips possible. But
Wow, but then-
well, I mean, the main thing I'm thinking of is this one gun robbed away. Yukon has it.
ร้ายมากว่า
Potential res goes down. No, this is done.
คือ
Crystal has an ult, I know,
คือ
but
หนึ่งเลยชุบได้
Are you sure?
ชุบได้
3 on 4. Maybe GE can still try to make something happen. Harvey!
แล้วก็
With the fade away onto Divide. Jing, oh no!
ได้
Showstopper will be neutralized.
วาร์ปได้โอ้โหโกงอย่าง
Be trying to hold the line at this point, but I don't know that there's too much that he can do about it. Of course, Jing done, and Harvey in from behind as well. GE, they just steal around out of nowhere.
oh, slap my tail and call me wrong, Jordan. Let's see that again. I mean, I wasn't expecting Javi to be able to win out the 1v1, just trying to pick his timing around the positioning towards the back of Mounds. Affords him a second, well, another gun picked up by GE. But ultimately, what comes down to it is, even though Jing pulled out that showstopper, just the ult from the deadlock puts him into the coffin, and that brings all the initiative back towards the team, and you can still see what this composition can do. Thrifty brought up now, and hopefully more rounds with it. PaperX, though, just back at it again.
Yeah, but it's good to see some signs of life for GE early on in the piece. Once again, a faster play from PaperX. Out Rubble, it is something and Jing that are leading the charge, and kind of like what I was saying, does it really matter if you've got this fancy wall, that fancy wall? If they can just go over the top of it, PaperX are still going to be able to pick the pace up, and that's exactly what they've done in this round. GE are fighting, but they are not winning.
They are just bruised up right now. I don't. I mean, I'm trying to think, like, how could you possibly slow this down that much
เหมือน
further? Maybe
เมตาตอนนี้มันทำให้แบบ
when you haven't
ก็คือ
really
เจ็ต
seen PaperX
เล
play
ส
at this
แล้วก็
pace, you kind of
แบบ
felt it
โกงอะไร
once
เงี้ยมันเลยแบบ
back in
ทีม
that
ที่เล่นเป็นแบบหรือ
playoffs
แบบ
game. But at this point,
ตัวสร้าง
PaperX
ชื่อ
just
ของ
seems to
ตัว
want to
สร้างชื่อ
run
ของ
it
เขาอะ
down
ไม่
A
ไม่เลยแบบ
C
เป็น
perhaps
เป็น
at
เลย
some
แบบเป็น
point.
ทีมที่เต็ง
It's just
เม
difficult.
ตามส่งไง
I think
นีออนก็เล่นไม่ได้แล้ว
the Sentinels
มันเล่นไม่ได้
just right. Otherwise, fancy walls will be just that, fancy, and that's it.
4-1. Map 2 heading in the same direction as Map 1 at the moment, and again, a little bit of a cause for concern for Global Esports, so I imagine we're getting the attack timeout shortly. Is it happening right now?
Really has to be, because if not, I mean, PaperX is just going to run the same thing again. I mean, the round there is just dropped, and instantly you have both duelists shoving it all the way up. One out towards stairs or on towards A site. Meanwhile, it's another duelist out towards A door. Now we're going into C. No timeout called. He will just have to try and go again. This time it's a Cypher with the trips and a sonic sensor to try to slow down PaperX pacing, but they have other plans in mind. Pick up the orb, go elsewhere. Jing's building up to another ult. Meanwhile, something's just peeking around A.
Yeah, he's just lurked out. Rubble have to take that space. Another staging ground for PaperX for their next offense.
Could it be, though, then for G to shift towards something more retake-centric? Pat picking up an alt orb or a kill. Could be Nightfall, could be big.
Could be something in this one for GE if they get the right timing on the push. There's 2 players waiting for it, but that's 2 frags waiting for Harvey. And GE are back in a big way for round number 6.
Massive skirmish out for semi-high-low, and now you're wondering about the other choke points in towards Link, and it's Crystal.
In Envy, try to put this one together. It's a decent start. Cost a bit of HP on Envy, but they are finding their kills, and PaperX are one of the best teams at putting these kinds of rounds together. A 2vx starts to feel doable as it's now back down to just the 2-on-2. Paranoia pushing through, but Envy can still see, and he will buy some time for Jing to recover for a third. No, GE, no, not like this. A 2v1 now for Autumn to try and put it together, but that is criminal.
Your heart just has to ache for this team. On paper, everything should be theirs.
How can you let that round slip?
จริงๆเขาได้เด่น
They
มาก
had the
จริงๆด้วย
numbers.
โดยมั่นใจ
But that's again what PaperX intends to do. Down to the 1v1s, G needed to set up. They were trying to set up the best possible time to retake. Go off of the flash on the Omen altogether. Sharp shots, but PaperX has them too. And as soon as you try to step back in the baby door, PaperX greets you right around the corner. This time again, 4-1 in towards A site.
Really surprised we haven't had a timeout just yet for GE. I think they need it. But I suppose they don't have much in this round to really work with, so might not get too much value out of it coming into round 7. They're looking a bit rattled on the stage, I have to say.
Really want to look to the coaching, but it doesn't feel as though you have the opportunity to do that. Jinx still holding into position. That's going to be a gun now. But PaperX has the C site.
แน่นอน
I mean, these two teams, you think about it again, PaperX, initial pioneers of the double duelist. GE now playing something that looks batshit crazy.
Spike planted.
Triple Sentinel.
I mean, you can get points for doing something a bit different, Quack, but it's got to work. And so far it's not. Map 1, it didn't work. Map 2, it's also not working here for GE. So I'm not convinced, certainly. Forsaken doesn't know how close he is to a bullet in the side of the head. Harvey actually does get Forsaken. GE have been more competitive in these weird rounds than anywhere else. But now it's on the shoulders of Autumn. Solo again against 2. He couldn't do it in the last round, and he is really waiting down the clock here. Catches something. I think he's timed himself out of this round. Davai waiting and gets the freebie in the back of the head. So PaperX up 6-1. And yeah, points for trying something different here as GE, but they're just not showing up on stage today.
Always have that one, Davai. But yeah, for whatever reason, you know, you have to think some kind of a mental thing as well out to these duels. But when PaperX are just feeling that fiery, that relentless, round after round, every single corner peaked. There's a player just right around. It's one of those things. It's very hard to quantify, but that's what Big Time is talking about exactly. Let's play against this team. This is what happens.
Need to get a coach cam here, surely. Come on. I need to see.
There we go.
There we go. I mean, cannot be happy sitting in that chair right now. This has been a poor display from GE so far. And you can't be losing a 5v2 on a stage like this against PaperX. That is not even down to the coaching. There's only so much you can do as a coach in that situation. That is just fundamental errors from GE. They have to find a way to fix it, and they have to do it in the next, you know, maybe a couple of rounds. Otherwise, this is going to start to become insurmountable. A reverse sweep will very nearly be required here for GE.
Yo, let me just
How often do you see that happen?
Want to see at least hopefully a round or two. It would mean so much to the team right now on the stage to just take one round, get fired up, get going. I want to see rage. I want to see Pat back in that form, back with that slight ego. You want to take down your ex-team.
Come on. GE. Oh, something on the stage today,
เจอ
please.
ได้
Big TP
น้องบอกว่าเราไม่มีอะไร
a lot of
ปิ้งอยู่
information.
เจอได้
Trying to get a couple
งั้น
of
พอ
shots through, but GE with an
มาแบบ
intention to go with a TikTok
Okay.
wall or not.
There you go. A little bit of life out of Yudatan, who has been pretty good at finding openers in this series so far. Trouble has been that GE, while they've got a couple of openers, while they've had some advantages in rounds, oftentimes have actually let those advantages slip. The conversion rate has not been good, but here's another chance to improve upon it.
Big ults as well. There's so many options to shift towards different setups, but for now, just trying to work off of information with Seekers, and PaperX play off of him.
This is what I'm talking about. Something brings it back to a 4v4. You've now got the B side, and you've got all that information off the back of the Seekers as well. Flag goes down. Nightfall doesn't quite connect onto any of those PaperX players, so they're feeling pretty okay about things. And Davai again is on the late lurk. He's on the flank. He's been doing that all game long. Paranoia, not a problem. Something covering things off. Envy eventually does fall, but time is of the essence now for GE as they start to push their way in. Yudatan is making the difference. He gets the res across as well. Davai is dealt with. Yudatan coming alive when it's needed the most. Can they get the better of something and get that defuse? It's all good. GE have a round.
And they will fight back. Yudotan, the ice to Jing's fire. I mean, this guy is another one of those original duelists for the team. Known to be a raise, his name literally meaning homing missile. And he's the one, of course, to take down the duelist of PRX. Comes back in, swings on a swivel, and suddenly you have the res back. A quad kill out for the round, and this is exactly what they've been needing. Just the mental composure, have that trust, get in with the flashes and push it for the retake. Doesn't matter what PRX has.
They need more though. They need another round here, Cracker. Can't just be a one and done.
It feels like they should be able to. PRX doesn't have the guns right now. They only have positioning around A, and it's the same wall again. They're going to be thinking about Yudotan possibly taking through. It's tree, but something has an entry.
Yeah, something out of nowhere. He'll be shut down before it gets too exciting for PRX. Now it's Devi's turn. Oh no, the double from Devi. Just as GE start to look alive again, now it is very much hanging in the balance. Auto holding strong. Can't quite hold the line. Jing half HP below that, in fact, and it's Crystal in another clutch.
He has an ult.
It even going to be required. Only a couple of bullets away from death. It's slowed down now. Jing off the side. He's going to take a risk. I like this a lot from Jing. Crystal will not find him.
Just roll off the back. But he's going to trust in the ult.
Jing's going to walk in behind him and shoot him in the back of the head. Crystal's got no idea. Oh! Another one for PRX. And GE, they just cannot get any momentum in this series at all.
It's mental, I'm telling you. The number just continues to grow. He had everything in the toolkit to work with. And PRX had absolutely none. Just the Sheriffs. And Devi somehow finds another multi-kill for all of Autumn's efforts. Down to the last. GE seems to have lost composure right at this juncture.
You can see it on the player cams, like it's not even a big deal for PRX. Jing's not getting too excited about that, just a cursory fist pump, you know, but I think PRX know that they are so in command of this game right now that they just got to keep on going.
Both timeouts called in the first half. PRX just comfortably breezing through.
Well, I mean, the worst part about this as well for Global is the composition that they've built is designed to do work on the defense, and they're not doing that. They're not even doing anything on the defense, so you go and think, well, we're going to move on to the attack now.
Yeah.
What tools do they even have? This is where they're supposed to be cashing in on this composition, and unfortunately, they're not getting the payout that they want.
It's theory can only do so much. The practice on the actual server itself is a whole other thing. And sometimes you really just need to get your players feeling good, feeling comfortable, feeling enraged. Right now,
it's the nature of the beast though, isn't it, right? First time as a team on a stage like this, you're up against perhaps the most experienced team in the world pretty much on stages like this. And a core that's been together for so many years, you're not expected to come into this series and absolutely dominate, but GE have to take this as a learning experience going forward. Hopefully they can learn in this series, but so far we're just not seeing it. PRX, another double entry. There's really nothing to be done here for GE at all, and PRX are running rings around them.
I mean, what's the lesson here, Jordan? Flawless from PRX. And these guys, well, they just show up against GE like school on a Saturday, which is today's day. No class. Just push them down. Instant shots through the smoke, something.
Yeah, I mean, I'll pick it up. I'll pick up what you're putting down. I would say, actually, though, that PRX looking all class at the moment. They are just on point. They are delivering the level that you would expect.
This is so much disrespect.
Yeah. No escape.
Next round again.
But, you know, if you can get away with it, then, yeah, disrespect away.
That's the game. Don't hate the player. Ops brought out again, and ults online. GE trying to play more defensive positions. Multiple trips all the way towards the A site. Javi to maybe try to play towards the off angle from Baby Door, but that's information to PRX now. First time that we have a slow round in this first half now. Just for PRX to run circles around. We're back into B.
Well, something. Up to his usual tricks on the other side of the map.
Bring them down.
You're right. PRX starting to push their way forward toward B. Or at least put some pressure on that with the util. They actually haven't committed to it. I want to see if they can pull something out of GE, and they have. It's Utatan pushing his way forward. DPI will spot that out. He himself will be pushed away. 40 seconds on the clock here. PRX are have to lock in for something soon. It's Jing with the showstopper. But it's not going to find anything just yet. He goes through the cage. Autumn, that's a really bold move when you know the showstopper has been pulled. Crystal, only a 1-for-1 again. The A site cracked open without too much drama here for PRX.
At least though, Avi has the flash, wants to go fast.
Straight through it. Utatan gets himself one. It's not quite going to be enough. Harvey's position noted as well. Envy spotting him around the corner and something locking in onto Patman as well. What can you say about these rounds? But it is a demolition.
Just blown to pieces. The showstopper. You applaud the boldness, the courage to even try and go for it.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I think you kind of have to be taking some risks now as GE, because playing standard clearly is not working for them. They've got to try something different. Throw a fox among the hen house, throw a spanner in the works, see if you can find a way to unsettle PRX. But the thing is, like, now it seems like PRX are just so far ahead. They're riding so far on that wave of momentum.
Just spear tackling them through and through. Now it's DPI out with an Odin, and they're marching down C. Autumn trying to slow it down.
He's doing a pretty good job of it, actually. Autumn eventually does get brought down by Forsaken, but the reinforcements will arrive here for GE and filter their way out through the door. The PRX pushed away, and a res as well to try and secure this final round of the half. A 9-3 would be something for GE to work with. Unless Forsaken, of course, can pull off a minor miracle in winning this round. He does have the spike, that gives him opportunity.
Knows they're hot on his heels.
He's playing ring around the rosy with GE pretty nicely. He's hoping to isolate a duel here, and he's been able to do that, but down to 31 HP.
Gets one more, he has the TP. Maybe he could go somewhere. Be risky, but could work. So much time to work off of as well.
I don't have a lot of faith.
Confirmation that Forsaken's still lurking around waterfall position, and that's where Javi has his crosshairs trained in.
Yeah, rotation over to A has now been cut off, so it's pretty obvious that he's going towards C. Javi already lurking his way out, and will pick up the perfect timing. So very good round win at the back end there for GE. It's just such a shame that we haven't seen more of that throughout this first half to kind of like allow us to sink our teeth into this game.
It's definitely not easy. But you're absolutely right as well, Jordan. The fact that they needed to take those risks, and Autumn did exactly that. It's only paid off in towards more control around the map, around the fights. That's the confidence. That's the form. And after that, just knowing that it would either have to be the spike or Forsaken another kill. It's GE trying to keep themselves cool, level-headed back into the game. 3-9 though, and as you go into the second half, you really have to wonder, how does this circus of a composition would look on the attack? And they're without timeouts now, I have to say that as well. If they don't start off just right, PRX, I think we're thinking about a possible 3-0 now. The only question mark left would be, what does the composition look like then on Ascent?
No, the real question right now is, are you a fried spring roll or a fresh spring roll guy?
Yeah, we're healthy. We go fresh.
No way, bro. I'm going fried every day.
I like lime sauces, so that's me. But you know, fans clearly kind of agree with me. So you're
like
wrong.
Everyone's going fresh.
Okay. All jokes aside, though, definitely the crowd favorites, PRX and fresh spring rolls. Maybe that's what GE will look like at the end of the map as well, completely fried. You don't want that. You do not want that. First ever deep run in Pacific playoffs.
Oh, I mean, look.
This is the dream.
Well, the dream is turning into a nightmare right now for GE. However, I think you have to say, even if they were to go out here, top 3,
it's not bad.
Really not a bad shout in your first playoffs. So I think we still have to kind of keep that in mind a little bit. But again, GE obviously coming to today wanting more than that. They want more than what they've been able to deliver so far. They've picked up only 9 rounds total over the 2 maps. And that might be continuing, although Envy, I think a couple of shots gives the opportunity back in onto Crystal. Patman chiming in with one as well. It's a very aggressive round out from PRX. I haven't necessarily quite gone their way. Lurk happening over towards A. Batman helped out by Yutatan. But there is a flank in again. It's DPI always getting in behind, but not doing enough this time. Maybe GE can remain in the fight if they can get this pistol.
Autumn's calling A side clear. Pat can get the spike down. Set up positions around it. DPI will have to try to work off of his flash, and that should give information away. It all depends on how you kind of hold out. The spike clearly planted the safe spot for Tree. Just the Sheriff and a dream.
Has been able to put together a few good share of shots so far in this game, but doesn't even get the chance to shoot a bullet. So GE holding on for the second half pistol. Same story as what we saw in the first map. 9-3 first half. GE wins the pistol in the second. They only picked up 6 rounds in the end over on Haven. Definitely hoping to improve upon that here on Lotus.
Yeah. That's just what we all want to see. Keep the dream alive. Go in. Guns blazing outside of B.
เฮ้ยมึงหิวจังอ่ะเฮ้ยเฮ้ย
The crowd loves the
เฮ้ย
reaction on the coach cam.
โอ้โหหิวจัดเลยนี่หว่า
Next round, and this is where you get
เอ
to
อ
come
เว้ย
up
หิวจัดเลยเว้ย
speed.
เออ
Two marshals.
คนหิวอย่างปีนี่หว่าโอ้คนหิวอย่างแห่งปีนี่หว่าโอ้โห
Information.
เฮ้ยนายหิวจังอ่ะนาย
Main forces down to
Oi.
the team.
ไม่ได้หิวเพื่อน
Flash, not
หิวจังอ่ะ
too much, but he's gonna call confirmation.
โอ้
And that's
SR
what
บวก
he's
SR
doing.
มึงบ้าเนี่ย
PRX all
หิว
getting
เกิ
across.
นโอ้หิวโตเลยนี่หว่านาย
Bring them down.
GE will be slowed down a
Yeah,
little by
I'll
that
try
dark
nine,
cover.
nine.
Looks like they're going to go through it anyway. DPI here to try and hold on. Good for one always.
Spike
Well.
down. C.
Starting to get a little bit worried for GE that maybe PRX can put something together. How did something get multiple shots off there? And now Jing coming into play as well. That's the spike dropped, and Autumn is nowhere to be seen.
Jing has a gun.
He's got no idea where Autumn's coming from, though. He thinks maybe there's even a flank coming through.
Autumn's just gonna have to either find a headshot or really find the right peaks. You know, one shot, peek back over the next.
No armor for Jing. He is tucked nice. Carefully until he decides to cross. Again, he's got no idea where Autumn is. Here's the peak.
30 seconds
Spotted.
left.
30 seconds for Autumn to try to work with a bold peek from Jing, and he gets it done again for PRX. They are just making no mistake at the moment as they continue to put GE in the ground.
And what more is there to say? You think about PRX playing to their peak form, and that's scary. PRX playing this fearless is just straight up terrifying. No armor, but Jing just doesn't have a care in the world. It feels as though everything is starting to come crashing down. We go back into it again, and there's no mobility whatsoever. They try to sit PRX down with utility, but it's more peaks.
I mean, it's just crazy. Something just does not want to go backwards, does he? He's always looking for these fights. I mean, think about Primi versus something tomorrow. If that ends up being a matchup that we get to see, Jet v Jet, Op v Op, that will be a crazy final. PRX are going a long way to securing that possibility.
It has been a couple of years since we've seen a full Thai squad into an international. We'll stay focused for this game for now. PRX with all the guns in the world. High, low.
Things making it a little bit too easy right now. Forsaken can't hold on for the double, so Spike is allowed to transition its way toward A. Quite all the way in there, and this is where we need a Batman clutch, but it's a really tough ask against 3. PRX are in no hurry as well. They know DPI's coming across. They can honestly allow that plan to go down and play it out 3v1. Really cross the T's and dot the I's. It's how much Patman is
30 seconds left.
hunting for an isolated duel. He really wants to find a 1v1, but PRX are not giving it to him.
He's also just not sure where they could be. They could have wrapped around through stairs, so he's thinking to check with the haunts, get the spike down, but that is what PRX wants. Bit of timing to push through now.
Oh, has to turn away from the flash and immediately down to 21 HP. DPI just kind of toying with him at this point, and in the end, Envy wraps in behind. Again, nothing he can do there. PRX are just playing it to perfection. The fundamentals are on point.
Just looks as though Pat's brain is going into overdrive, right? He's instantly thinking to wrap around towards the back, get that 180 flick, but there's just no chance. Envy, on the other hand, is just so comfortable. I mean, that's another thing. Both teams cut from the same cloth. Just always playing Valorant with a dream. PRX initially, people were laughing at them for that double duelist. And then they show up in this way. One Malaysian representative in Davai. Envy as the next Filipino star. GE, similar signs, but not the same level of experience, not the same level of performance. For the little team that could, to finally take down PRX in the playoffs, in towards map 2, where they're finding themselves in a 4-11 scoreline. They try and they try. They're sitting back for now, but it's PRX to control all the space. One ways and 2 players outside of Mount to hold. Another one-way setup.
They will continue to try to get another map as well if this one ends in the favor of PRX. Remember, it is a best of 5, so GE are not done just yet. It doesn't feel like they've come online at all so far in this lower bracket final. It is 1-for-1 to start off round number 16, and GE are going to try and take some momentum from that. Prowlers forward, allows them out to Mount.
Think carefully though.
Big rotate from PRX, isn't it? 3 players already over on C. That Nightfall connected in onto Envy. Yes, it has. Yuratan on the hunt, looking for it. Envy is a dead man walking. But Jing, again, in for the double, and there's just no answer right now for GE. Crystal's going to have to try to clutch it out. Pops the Annihilation. He's got that wall up as well. Devi's been caught. Forsaken, gonna have to get this one done alone. Tags through.
Forsaken set.
Still has to find one of these.
Come on.
Eventually, but it will not be this one. Another for PRX.
How? How is this happening? Round after round. Another big entry, big first blood. Patman fires back. You actually gain space into sight. You have the conviction to go through with Nightfall. Just a crumble in the post plant. A showstopper, a big dive. Out with Defy as well. Just down to the 1v1 where the headshot angle is the last thing you don't expect.
Yeah.
12-4, and now economy in shambles. PRX look primed to send this to Ascent.
Yeah, and it's looking like it's going to be an even cleaner map here on Lotus than what we saw on Haven. So even more mentally draining for GE. Forward hold on B. Worked out for something. Again, in the mix early on in the piece. Defy waiting for Harvey. Can't quite get it done. That's Steel Garden in the mix as well. But Forsaken is running amok amongst GE. He will eventually be brought down to heal, but I don't think it's going to matter at all. It is just Patman up against his former teammates, and surely nothing to be done. 13 secured for PRX, and right now they are making it look way too easy against GE.
Just another bloodbath again. The last round is confusing, trying to find any lead possible, but time and time again it gets wrangled and tossed away by PRX.
Yeah, it's time for some real soul searching here as GE 2 maps into this lower bracket final, 1 more remaining if things continue in the fashion that they have been. So GE have to take a break here, have to have a chat with the coaching staff, have to dig deep, have to find a way. Otherwise, this very first playoffs run they have managed to get themselves into will be over.
The best chance would have to be that Ascent. They haven't shown their composition so far, not a single time. Meanwhile, PRX seemingly struggled a little bit against T1 just yesterday. We do see something right back on with a Yoru though, and he had some lovely plays back there, so you never quite know. This could still be a clean sweep.
Yeah, we've got a lot of PRX fans in the crowd here today. You can see all those signs being held up, and they have been given a bit of a treat, but the global esports fans need something to watch as well. Hopefully, Global can deliver that on map number 3. Looking likely the scoreline, but we'll see whether or not things change on map 3. First though, we'll go to an interview, see how things are feeling down on the stage.
Vâng ạ, thưa các bạn thân mến, đối đầu với cả Ben Sentinel nhưng mà không thể ngăn cản được W Gaming. Vậy điều gì đã thúc đẩy cái điều đó? Điều gì đã bơm thêm năng lượng để cho bên phía của PRX biết rằng là Jing hay không? Hãy cùng nghe chia sẻ của huấn luyện viên Alex. So coach, against 3 Sentinels, we still can't stop the W Gaming. What pushed that? Is it Jing?
Yeah, I mean, having Jing play like 30, 25 kills is obviously going to give you against any comp. It's going to be good. I think we have seen the comp before, you know, so we kind of know what we need to do around it. So when we saw it today, like we had a good idea of how to play around it.
Với việc mà Jing chơi như thế rồi thì bạn chơi bộ com nào cũng sẽ có thể hoàn toàn xuyên thủng được 3 cm thôi. Chúng tôi đã nhìn thấy bộ com này trước đây và chúng tôi hiểu rằng làm sao để có thể khắc chế nó. Vâng ạ, đó là những chia sẻ của huấn luyện viên Alex. Thank you coach. See you in map 3. Thank you.
What can you do to stop 3 Sentinels? You just paper X it. That is the answer. And that is exactly what happened. It is 30-4, an even farther scoreline than the first map.
I mean, we heard it from Jovi before this map. He said, in theory, this comp should cook Paper X.
But theory.
Paper X don't care about your theory. They're so good. They're so sharp. And I feel like GE, you know, with all the good planning in the world, if you can't make it work on the server, then things aren't going to improve. You know, we've seen this composition in the past. We've seen the idea of triple sensing. And I think it's great on paper, but to play it in reality, especially against such a strong team like Paper X, it feels impossible to make it work.
Yeah, I mean, as well as you see how the first half and second half started, you get bonus 1 as well as pistol by Paper X, and then second half you see GE with a much needed pistol, they immediately get ecoed. It's just one of those games where not only are the double duelists of Paper X, you know, just full force running at you, Jing's on his signature agent, but also you have a bit of a disastrous half start in both of those halves. So even if you have all this prep, even if you have all these great plans on the gun rounds, you don't get the chance to execute them as cleanly as you would have wanted to, and then the game falls apart.
Well, you know what? Jovi hyped up the triple Sentinel way too much, and we decided, you know what? Never mind. He doesn't belong here on this desk. We decided to bring up Benkai to replace him. Benkai.
I'm not gonna hype it up. I'm here to clown on it, man.
all right. Let's hear me clown
GE
it.
was not fighting today on that map. They were struggling. It was GE struggling today. I thought it was me and Morgan again on that team.
Yo, that's a flashback. No, but I think you're right. I think it's just, I get the idea behind it, and I get that you're trying to upset in this best of 5, so you have to be the ones to innovate, but it didn't look well prepared. That is the, you know, like you said, that's the flip side of prepared. That is the, you know, like you said, that's the flip side of prepared. That is the, you know, if you're not well drilled with it, it's not going to look good on the stage when the pressure's on.
Yeah, it's definitely tough, and you can see GE also starting to crumble under all this pressure. Sure, you had map number 1 where you can just shake it off and okay, get those nerves out of the way. This was map 2. It's starting to get real for them, and this next map coming up could be their final one. We see just how far away the stats are over here, and for PRX, they are still just smooth sailing over here.
Yeah, I think with GE really needs to get their discipline together. Like, there was that one round, the 2v5 that Paper X won. Paper X had no business winning that.
Yeah.
And GE just picked into them one by one. I just didn't know what that was.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, even on the game planning, like this is a comp that should be able to win A on that defender side, and they were never able to do it, even if they're throwing all that util. And then half the time they had Crystal on his own towards A. You know, he's tripping up backside. Like, it just doesn't seem like it's well coordinated and well put together. But ultimately, you know, it's Paper X that you're having to play against, and Paper X are so good at disrupting your timings. Team, they're still not looking settled on the stage, which is a worry. I mean, you know, it's a best of 5. It's a long, long day in theory, but that's only true if they can start to turn their performances around here.
Yeah, I mean, this is just classic Paper X. This comp is very flexible. They can kind of mid-round their way out of a lot of situations. MVP obviously goes over to Jing. It feels like there's less and less maps in the pool where he's going to be able to play the Raze, but Lotus is always going to be a staple from him. So I'm not surprised, despite the fact that in a couple of these last few series, we haven't seen as big of a performance from him. But as soon as he's back on that comfort role on the comfort map, he goes straight back to putting up the same numbers that you saw at the start of this stage of Pacific.
Yeah, he is just one of the best Razes in the world, and if not the best Raze in the world. And this is exactly why, when it comes to these kind of matches, he's always the one that to watch out for. He always pops off also, and he always delivers on this agent. You had Padman really trying to fight on the side of GE. However, it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, I mean, I think this game just got out of their hands too quickly. You know, you spoke about it yesterday, Ben. Paper X are one of the best momentum teams in the world, right? So, I mean, if you're on the flip side, let's say you're back in GE for a second, Paper X are getting that momentum. How are you stopping it?
I mean, with all of these Sentinels that GE had, I would have tried to at least play for time and just try and cut down on those entrances with the Sentinel utility. That's what I would have done.
Yeah, I mean, look, honestly, the thing I wanted to highlight about this game is, I mean, these 2 rounds are a perfect example of what PRX do to a team. At the end of the day, this was a 4-on-5 bonus, won by PRX that got them a ridiculous amount of momentum in the first half, and then the clip to follow up this one is going to be a 2-on-5 that you've seen. I mean, you see vintage 2-on-5s, 2vx clutches from PRX. It's really what they do best. You put them in a situation where they need to read the game, and they're able to do it. But I also want to, highlight the comp that GE are playing. This is a duelistless comp where you need perfect spacing, because at the end of the day, you actually have a lot of guys on this team that are just a guy with a gun. I've thrown all my center util down, but when we get into the mid-round, I'm a guy with a gun and I need to be next to my teammate, and if I'm not, I'm going to get picked apart by PRX. Yeah. This is what you saw in this round.
And I think this is something GE in the past have been historically so good at trading each other out. We've praised their fundamentals so many times on the desk, but PRX picked it apart here today.
Yeah, it was just, I wish we could see how this comp really would work. But unfortunately, today's just not the day. There's just too many factors in here. But now, of course, we have Ascent on the horizon. What do you think? Are we expecting anything? Any surprises there, Jovi?
I mean, for GE, I wouldn't be surprised if they brought out like a funky comp. But I also wouldn't be surprised if PRX brings out String on the race for this map. Like we've done it before in the past.
Okay.
Yeah. Kind of worked, but.
Hey.
เอากับกล้วยนะพี่เอากับกล้วยมาทำเป็นเรือนะพี่ใส่เกลือข้าวตอกข้าวเปลือกเงินปล่อยทะเลผมบอกเลยว่าข้าวเปลือกหวานไม่ขึ้นพี่ข้าวตอกก็หวานไม่ขึ้นเกลือก็หวานไม่ขึ้นครับเงินก็หวานไม่ขึ้นครับมาทางไหนนี่กลับทางนั้นเลยพี่ถ้าโดนข้าวเปลือกนะพี่บอกเลยว่าเป็นข้าวเปลือกนะพี่แต่เราไม่อยากทำใครของตรงนี้มันทำได้นะพี่เอากับกล้วย
ไอ้เยี่ยมึงทำดิ
ไอ้นะ
มึงทำดิ
ไม่ทำหรอเฮียปัญญาอ่อนเลยเฮียเดี๋ยวติ้งต่อเงยสัตว์ปัญญาอ่อนที่หายกูนั่งฟังมันเฮียอะไรโชว์พาเดี๋ยวลาออกที่หายเฮีย
เอาก็ข้าวเปลือกไงมึงเป็นไก่เปล่ามึงกินข้าวเปลือกอ่ะเฮ้ยโหลนายเป็นเปลือกนายเป็นไก่เหรอ
เมื่อกี้ว่าคนเขมรเป็นไก่เหรอวะ
มึงเป็นไก่หรือเปล่าเฮ้ยมึงได้เอตาไม่ได้สรุปเอตาเนี่ยมึงได้ไปไหนเอตาเนี่ย
ไม่ได้เฮียมันดิสก่อนบอกว่าไม่ไหว
โง่อย่างเงี้ยโง่แล้วมึงฟังเสียงเนี่ยเป็นไงเพลงใหม่ด้วยแล้วมีไฮไลท์เพื่อนด้วยน่ะเห็นเพื่อนร้องอ่ะใส่เลยแหละเนี่ยเล่นโลบักเขเลยดูดิไว้ก่อนเลยเล่นโลบักไว้ก่อนเลยนายมันก็เดี๋ยววันนี้ผมเจอผมแน่นอนน้ำทิพย์อ่ะ2 ทุ่มเรามีนัดกันแค่นั้นเอง VIP มีแล้วด้วยตัวละครก็มีแล้วด้วย
ไอ้เหี้ยเหมือนกูดูฟีฟ่าเนี่ยไอ้เพลง
ฟีฟ่าไหนอะ
ฟีฟ่าอะไรสิโอ้เยี่ยมก็เดี๋ยวคลิปกูไปลงเลยพี่ว่า
เฮ้ยดูให้จบโอ้โหคลิปนายมีแค่2 คลิปเองนายโอ้โหนายพูดเต็มบบเลยดิผมไปเอาคลิปนายลงตอนไหนเนี่ยฮะอันนี้ใช่ตัวนายปะเนี่ยอันนี้ใช่ตัวนายปะเฮ้ยโหอันนี้ใช่ตัวนายปะเนี่ยดูเขียวอะเฮ้ยอันนี้ใช่ตัวนายไหมเราถามนายตอบดิเพื่อนอันนี้ใช่ตัวนายไหมเนี่ยตัวดูเขียนอะโหล
เฮ้ย
เราก็อยากรู้ไงนายบอกว่าเราคลิปนายไปลงอะนายขล้นจัดเลยนี่หว่าอันนี้ใช่ตัวนายปะเนี่ยหรือว่าโลบอกแดงเนี่ยเพื่อน
ตัวไม่ใช่ตัวเราอ่ะตัวโง่เลยเนี่ย
อันนี้ใช่ตัวนายปะเนี่ย
ภาพ1,000ด้วยอ่ะอุ้ยเล่นภาพ1,000โอ้ยบีบจ๋าเลยดินาย
need to press it.
Hey, yo.
We need to press it right now.
I think the good thing for GE is if they're going to recover, it has to be now, right? And when we saw them beat PaperX last, there was a big hunger difference. I felt like they wanted it more. Now is the true time where they have to bring that back. If they can muster up that courage, the cojones that they showed in that series, then they'll be able to turn this around a little bit. But they're looking complacent and they're looking scared. Right now, it looks like PaperX that wants it more, and that's what worries me for GE.
Yeah, and you just can't come into this match with that kind of mentality, you know, especially against PaperX. To them, the job is done already. They've already made it to London.
Yeah.
So right now, they're really just having fun. And whatever they get now is just a bonus to them. So
Exactly. And PaperX, they're so scary when they have fun.
yeah, and what does GE have to do to try and like beat that mentality? You know, they're just so, I just feel like they're so afraid right now.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. It is definitely scary when you see PaperX having fun, and definitely in this sort of flow state that they usually get into in these very, very important matches. We see that each of these players also, they're just incredibly calm as well. Like they haven't really peaked yet. And you see the side of GE, they're really struggling.
I mean, exactly. I mean, you saw the interviews this morning. Divine made it to his 14th international with this. It's routine for him at this point.
He literally looked like he rolled out of bed, which I'm sure he did to come and play this best of 5. Either way, though, Ascent is going to have to be where the narrative changes for GE. It is reverse sweep or go out here in Pacific. Yes, the job's done. They've already upset PaperX before. He's been looking like that. He's been looking like that so far.
Scary.
Borderline demonic.
I mean, that's him with the Yoro ult right now. He's gonna be mask on in this game. I'm really looking at Jing and Forsaken though. Forsaken was phenomenal in this first map of the series on Haven on the Omen, and I think he's key to holding that A main control on defense. The Omen is a very key agent in that regard. But Jing coming off the back of that Lotus game as well, after he's had a couple of rough games on the Sage, an agent that he's played a lot in the past, not only on this map, but also on Sunset. Those are going to be the two players that I'm looking at to be heavy hitters for PaperX. For GE, I mean, we have no idea what they're going to come out with here. I mean, we haven't seen them play Ascent yet at all. It's something that they've kind of kept in their back pocket. But even if they have some tricks up their sleeve, if the players don't step up in the server, none of the theory, none of these comp changes is going to matter.
That's my worry, because it doesn't seem like the players have that same fire that they enter the stage with, right? You saw the look on Javi's face, that sparkle when he was walking out. And now into map number 3, he's looking puzzled. He's scratching his head. He has his hand, you know, over his head and he's thinking, what am I going to do?
I mean, it's so hard not to be demoralized in this game because you've cooked up these great plans that I'm sure have been, you know, absolutely frying for you in scrims, and then you bring it out in the server and you get 13-6, 13-4. It's hard to go, well, it doesn't matter what we do, and it's easy to get in your own head and feel like you're just not able to go toe-to-toe with them. But you are good enough if they bring it back. It's a Sage mirror matchup.
That's what we wanted to see.
Yes, and I love that they're bringing out the KO. We saw how well T1 were able to do with this to neutralize what PaperX were bringing here.
Sage mirror matchup, it is. It looks like we are getting what we asked for in this match. But the question is, can Global Esports make this comeback, or does this series already belong to PaperX?
I really want to see how GE are going to get into the bomb sites, man. They don't have any agents to dive in.
Yeah, and you're going into Vice Sage.
It's going to have to be the Phoenix Burst. Like, they're going to be stuck in the chokes. It's going to have to be Curveball or Underarm KO Flash, something like that to try to break it.
Well, GE, you got to give us something here. This can't be the way it ends after such a miraculous run here in Stage 1. And for PaperX, you got to keep going. Show us what you've got as we toss it on over to your casters, Elfish and Quack.
Yeah, it's all about this for GE. They have come in with the fantasy run into the playoffs. First time ever. And we thought, wow, this team might be able to put something together. They beat PaperX in round 1. They make it all the way through this event, and then all of a sudden it starts to come crashing down. Surely the dream cannot turn into a nightmare.
Surely not, but then again, you never know. Look at how many signs there are out there. PRX 3-0. By the way, if they do actually make it to the grand final, it would be the first time they face off against full sets so far this year. It hasn't happened before.
Wow, that's a big story. I think you could definitely set a few up there. Primi, maybe the best player. PaperX, maybe the best team. What kind of a matchup that could be if we get there tomorrow. GE, of course, still trying to play spoiler in this best of 5, but they are down 0-2, needing a reverse sweep. How often do you see that happen?
Let's not forget, you don't see that happen too often, but PaperX were one of the first few teams to do it against KRX back then in 2023. But for now, let's all remember as well, Frost being the OG creator of the zombie comp, the tempo comp, where you have multiple lives. Autumn Phoenix, Yurutan Sage. For now, though, a silent approach through middle. The smoke somewhat telling. PRX starting to think about holding out towards A short, but it's a bit late.
That made their way into tree and actually some pretty good ground here. Autumn is already taking a lot of space. Crystal pushing his way forward. A 1-for-1 is something way down for Devi.
Pretty nice. You fan the hammer, you get a kill at the very least, and that's a pretty decent start. A lot of information and time being held off as well, thanks to the wall, so you know where one is approaching. The rest possibly as well. Now that you have Pat back on the controller just to try and hold.
Ooh. Tag in onto Jing. Something already dropping. This is coming together for GE. They haven't started with a pistol round until now. So that's a break in tradition for this lower bracket final.
Something that they definitely are welcome to taking. I mean, that's, again, another theory about how this composition could work. We're seeing it in practice, which is something that we haven't seen so far today. You have the wall. That slows things down. You get some information off of it. The door kind of works as a wall as well. And you know where PRX are approaching from. So big ups to Crystal for being able to take that opening duel. We need so much more of that for the rest of this series.
100% GE.
2 marshals, 1 ghost now.
I mean, you can still see that that means a lot to them. They're still locked in for this game. They're still investing everything they can. That belief is not gone. And that's what's going to be the most important for GE. Even if we don't believe, they have to believe right here.
I just love that so much for this team. You lose a Guardian now, though, but on the other side, just try to shove it into the site, get the spike down. You know PRX are hot on the approach.
They spotted multiple players outside of B, so they're not going to take too long to clear out A. Still got Batman and Autumn pushing for this flank, and, well, slim pickings for PRX in this round. Really nice anti-eco for GE.
It almost didn't matter that Forsaken had a gun. Last player soon to be found with Yurotan in position. Okay, there we go. Yeah, had us nervous for a second there, didn't we?
Yeah.
But that's,
I mean, I've just seen so many things turn on a dime like that.
Yeah, so far today.
I feel like you can't afford to make a mistake against PRX. But this one not punished.
At the very least. So, again, I
นี่คือ
mean, just
ลอง
thinking
ดู
about
ไปก่อนนะเดี๋ยวผมไปวิ่งกัน
so far, the
อะไรก็
entire org's history throughout the
เขาดูฝากเกียร์ด้วยนะผมไปวิ่ง
exception
ละ
of Pacific, you
ก็
know,
คือจะเปิดจอไว้เผื่อ
no
ผมอยาก
offense
ดู
to
ว่าปาร์ตี้
Orchid or
แต่จะ
even
ไม่มีงาน
Vanguard
ภาคนะ
out on the desk,
ไปวิ่งก่อน
but they've always struggled. This is
เราจะได้หรือ
the
ไม่ครับ
best form that we've seen so far.
ดู
You
เผื่อผม
want
ได้
to believe in the
แป๊บเดียว
dream
แป๊บเดียวเว้ย
for them to be able to make it to the grand final. Players who have been plucked from tier 2 haven't had their time to shine. This might be it, and they will shove it straight through with a dive, sort of, on the Phoenix into sight.
That's nice. Again, we talked about that on the desk. How are they going to get out onto these sites? Well, it's going to have to be the pop in, the runner back in this case. On Autumn, and it's worked out quite nicely. GE are navigating this nicely so far. Decent contingent of weaponry, despite the fact that Forsaken's got a kill back in there. There's really not a lot for PRX to get excited about. Global Esports looking pretty good so far on Ascent, so maybe it's not over yet.
Yeah, they're in control of the spacing. Something trying to look for a safe backing out towards the A site where he should be the safest. Still, though, never to quite know. G could begin to hunt Crystal's. Recon could come back soon enough. Apart from that, however, it's just pace again. I mean, you start the first 2 rounds exactly how you need to, and then you have the ultimate, which, you know, we haven't really brought up as a point. Autumn is on to 8 kills right now, only a single death to his name, and that's just exactly what this team needs. You go in with a full force and fury of Global Esports straight into the B side, and PRX just has no answer. You can continue to bring up rounds like this, then we'll have a real conversation.
Yeah, I mean, this is really looking quite nice for GE. Autumn uses the runner back in this round, and he's already halfway there to his next one as well. It won't be long before we see that again.
Hopefully more.
Bit of a save out for PRX here as well. Half buy coming through. Opportunity for GE to continue the pain here on Ascent.
Possibly. Got out with flashes, but then again, PRX have somewhat of a similar composition as well. The Sage, always a big factor.
Oh, they're going to contest through the one-way, through the slow. Still going to try and take that space. Flash in, helps Forsaken out. He can't get out. It's just the 2 for 2, which look, if you're PaperX, I don't think you're too mad about.
Yeah, that was just a sheriff. And now you've got something in a strong position.
Very strong position, in fact, and he's got a rifle that he can make some good work happen from. Udican not able to clear that corner, and this is where maybe it starts to fall apart a little bit for GE. The decoy.
You need this duel.
Getting the better. Crystal was spotted. Doors broken or something. What is that? Harvey just punishes him for it.
Just an uncharacteristic dive, but now the spike planted and a crossfire set up across the sights.
Big crossfire indeed. That drone. The information that is required. Nobody out from tree just yet, so Crystal feeling pretty comfy to start to push his way out onto the line. Stops a bit of damage. Shock dart out, trying to slow things down. That's awkward. 1v1 now for Harvey. And you're up against DPI, who is running out of time, so he's going to have to go back and try and sit that defuse for a second. Flash around the corner. Prompts another tap here. DPI cannot win this for sure. All over at this point. Yeah, easy for Harvey. 4-0. GE starting to come alive on map 3.
I'm not gonna lie though, I definitely held my breath for a second. Javi thankfully being able to play off of time, but Crystal on the 1v1s, he hasn't been so hot today. You kind of want that Crystal clutch to come back in this series. At least the rounds going this way so far, being able to find the recovery off of 2 initial big losses, that's the GE. That's the composure that they need to bring back to the game. I mean, just finding the right calls, finding the right plays. PaperX starting to feel a bit of nerves as well.
First time in this series that we've seen the initial timeout in a map go the way of PaperX. Also the first time that GE have picked up the opening pistol. First time that GE have been able to front run. So we're sort of in uncharted territory now in a sense. Things are maybe changing up for the better for GE, which is what we've been asking for all this whole series.
4-0 is a hot start.
Yeah. Feels like the first time they were actually really asking any questions of PaperX so far.
Which is then some work for Coach Alex to do. I mean, you have to think about how GE has been approaching round after round. A lot of the orbs on this map are somewhat positioned for the attackers to pick up. So clearly needing to work around that, and that's what they try to do a little bit towards A main, which is very clear for oftentimes Omens to do, with a bit of support from Jing as the Sage this time around. But if GE just having the ability to cycle through the ultimates, having the same kind of approach off of flashes, the slows, they can just shove you back. We're not forgetting the fact that Javi onto this KO can be quite a threat as well, not just in terms of information, but just that. Just stifling abilities.
My ult is ready.
Now you might have entry.
Yep. Bonafide A hit here for GE. Just going to try and test the defense of PaperX, which is not looking too good. Forsaken is stuck, and he's got nowhere to go. So he'll be chased down by Batman, and again, not a bad entry for GE, but PaperX with that third, rather that second kill. Bring it back to a winnable scenario here. Autumn's going to try to pick the pace up. Is he aware? Yes, he is Envy. And in the blink of an eye, that round is over and done with. GE up to 5-0.
Bang on. And that's just going to continue rolling. I wonder what PaperX's economy is going to start to look like then. I mean, they tried to shift towards a more, I guess, default-ish setup, but clearly that's not going to work out if GE intends to play pace, intends to continue to be flexible. 7 rounds where they just Phoenix burst into side, exactly what Pilsky was talking about on the decks, and you're seeing so clearly right now. The flash in, the willingness to continue to push past in towards spawn. The next round coming up.
Runner back available. Last time they had it, GE, they did hit this B site and direction again.